Hello! Today's video is going to show you how to copy and paste questions into two different tools in Laulima. We'll begin by learning how to copy and paste questions into the Test and Quizzes tool, and then we'll talk about the Assignments, Tests, and Surveys tool. So either way, the first place that you're going to start is by logging into Laulima. You'll use your UH username and password to gain access to Laulima. Then once you're inside, you will choose your course site. Next, you will open your Test and Quizzes tool. If you haven't already added this tool to your site, there's another video that can show you how to do that. I'll leave it in the description. So once you've opened the Test and Quizzes tool, you can add a title for your assessment. So in this case, we're calling it the Week 9 Quiz. Then you'll go down and click on Create using Markup Text. Now what this tool will let you do is copy what you've already created in a Word document or a rich text file and paste it into this section. So the different things that are being clicked on the side are directions and examples for exactly how each type of question should be formatted. It's very important to get the formatting correct, because if you don't use the correct and appropriate formatting here, then when you try to import them to the tool, it's not going to work. So what I suggest doing is creating all of your questions in a separate file first, going over and making sure that the format is correct, and then you can just copy the whole thing, paste it into the dialog box, and then double check, make sure that the formatting is correct, the spacing is correct, you have the correct amount of points, and then you'll click on Continue. In this case, we're going to create a question pool, because a question pool will allow you to access those questions for later assessments if you decide to use it again. Maybe at the end of the term you want to create a summative assessment, then you can use those questions again in different assessments. So you're going to click on Copy from Question Pool, open that pool that you created, and then you'll select the questions that you'd like to add to your assessment. And then you click on Copy, and at this point you can edit things like points or the question order. If you see bigger issues that need to be edited, then you can click on the Edit button to the right and change things within the question. But the changes that I'm making right now are just to change the points. Say that I wanted to increase the point value for each item. When you're ready, you'll click on Update Points or Update Order, and then your pool is set. So when you go back to Publish, then it will make that assessment available for your students. So when you go back to your assessments page, you can see that it's active and ready to go. So we'll follow a very similar procedure for the Assignments, Tests, and Surveys tool. So you'll click on the tool to begin with, and then we'll click on Question Pools. We'll next click on Import, and then we'll scroll down to the section that says Paste Questions and Import. So the format is a little bit different for the Assignments, Tests, and Surveys tool. You can start out, if you were using the same thing and you just wanted to have it in this tool, you can start out by pasting the document that you had before into a new document, but then you need to go to this site and review the formatting. So in this case, when we're using the Assignments, Tests, and Surveys tool, you don't include the number, and the way that it's set up is a little bit different. So you won't add the points at this part, you'll add the points later on. So those are the two big things that are major differences. This link is a tutorial for copying and pasting questions into Assignments, Tests, and Surveys. So it's really helpful to go to that site and review the instructions for how to do it specifically, because if you change the formatting, then it will affect the way that your questions are imported to your course site, and you might need to go back and delete things. So in this case, notice that the title is at the top, and then you add the points for the entire assessment at the top. Once you click on OK, your questions will be imported. You do have some wiggle room here. You can go in and edit questions if you need to, But from this point, you can create your assessment. So if you click on assessment, you can add a title for the test or the quiz that you are working on, and then you can draw from the question pool by clicking on select. So you can choose this specific pool. For this assessment, we only have one pool that we've created. So these are the questions that I'm going to use, and then I'll add them to it. And now I can see each individual question and I can update the points if I need to. If you realize that there's a bigger error in one of your questions, then you can click on the questions and go in and edit it that way. And so you'll see that the assessment has been created. You can add your open and close dates, and then if you needed to make any adjustments for particular students, you can do that here as well. And then when you click on publish, it'll be ready for your students to access.